I got money on my mind. I'm just trying to get some dough. I ain't picking up my line unless it's money on the phone.
Before we had got on, you were talking about the way you approach writing books. So can we go into that some? I'd love to educate the people.
Absolutely, man. That is one of my passions right there. It's like publishing, because I understand licensing. I understand digital real estate. I love digital real estate. Like when it comes to digital real estate, I want to be a fucking tycoon. You know what I mean? Publishing books in today's format, one of the things that you want to have in any business is a high level of distribution, right? So anytime you could get a high level of distribution, you're you're halfway there. Amazon allows that. Barnes and Noble allows that. So I have a book now called Rise of the Smart Notary. That is top 5 bestseller on the charts or whatever. But I also publish romance novels. So with these romance books and stuff, there's a demographics for that. I find a ghostwriter. I go on Upwork, find a ghostwriter to write. I tell them exactly the type of book that I'm looking to get written. They'll write out the book for like $125, right? I mean, a whole book, right? And then I'll get I actually got my list here. So I'll get a ghostwriter, an editor, someone to design the cover for me. Then I'll have somebody do the format and then publish. Once I have the publishing done, it's being distributed throughout the world. So now imagine just getting $2 from each sale from a book that's been written months ago or years ago. That is that passive income. That's that residual income that you're looking to get into. So every time I produce a book under that author's name, there's already a fan base that wants to hear more from that author. Mm. It's trippy as shit. It's like not wanting to listen to only one Beyonce album. No, she's giving you a series of albums, right? So that's what happens when you write a book. Like if you guys were to write a book on podcasting, one, it sets you as an authority. It said like, these guys know what they're talking about. Why? Because people's perception is they wrote a book on it. We wrote a book on podcasting. So now everybody's going to want to listen to you. Two, it opens up so many doors. When I mean it opens up doors, like you will reach people that you normally would not have reached if you did not write that book. So that's one of the dope things. What you got there, man?
I had to put up our book real
quick. A book. Exactly, bro.
I love it.
Opens up a whole, like literally, like, so with that, you could take that same book and create a course around it. Take that same book and create a whole series. Like I wouldn't stop, like me on the publishing side, knowing what I know. Is that your first book?
Yeah, this is our first book.
You need to roll out 5 of them joints.
There's 2 more parts that I definitely want to add to it. I know for sure. I don't know if Kelly and David and them got more parts, but I know for sure there's 2 more installments I want to add to that one.
Sure, because as you guys continue, there's new knowledge that's being accumulated, new information. So you want to roll out, I would roll out 5 of them, right? And after the 5th one, you do what is called a box set. So you combine all of the books into one box set. You can sell that as a digital format, or you can sell it as a publishing format. And depending on what your book is going for right now, you could charge anywhere from like $50 for the published one. But the box sets are a gold mine. People don't know about that. Mm. You put 5 of these books, and then you combine them all together. Holy shit, dude. I'm telling you that is, if they're buying that book now, they're going to buy the box set. Hands down. Hands down. They want to hear more from you guys. Trust me.
And I kind of want to go a little bit more into like your ghostwriters. Is there a way that you kind of like vet your ghostwriters? How do you know, okay, I want this person to move forward with writing my book? And whenever you do have that person, are you going to stick with them throughout the course of that series? So say you might put out one romance novel. Would you stick with them through the course of those 5 series?
Yes. Yeah. So I would definitely stay with it because they have a certain tone to their delivery, right? 2, you ask them for samples. Say, hey, I want to see some samples of some work that you have done that's similar to what I'm doing now. And then they send you some samples, you kind of look it over and see if you like their writing style. You'll pretty much know within the first paragraph if you like their writing style or not. The second thing is, if you stay with them, like you could fire them at any point. Like you don't have to stay with them, but you could let them go at any point. And they understand that. But one of the main things you want to do is for a ghostwriter, you want to have that contract ready for them to sign off and say, hey, look, we own the rights to this shit. So if I decide to make a movie out of Rise of the Smart Notary, like that's me. You don't get nothing from that. And when you're approaching them initially, you're letting them know that this is for a 5-book series. So they understand that they're going to have to be writing quite a bit.
And do you normally get like some pushback whenever you're like, hey, I own this intellectual property? Or they kind of like already understand, this is how the process goes?
Yeah, they understand that that's how the process goes. I've never had any kickback, and plus they wouldn't get paid if they didn't agree to it, right?
Yeah.
And see, and here's the beautiful thing about the day and age: the gatekeepers are gone. The gatekeepers are gone. So now it's like, okay, you're a ghostwriter. You don't want to agree to my terms. Do you understand you're on a platform with like fucking 900 other ghostwriters? Huh? Like, you know what I mean? Like you could take that approach and be like, there's 900 other people bidding for this job right now. You're lucky I'm entertaining you. So sign the document and let's go ahead and create some magic together. Let's make some money together. It's not like you jerking them. One thing about ghostwriters is that they're great at writing. They're not great at marketing. So they're happy to just get a gig to do what they already love. That's like finding an artist off the street and say, hey, I'll pay you, $50 to paint a portrait for me. But because you have that high income skill of marketing and sales and shit, that I can take that one painting, duplicate the shit out of it, put it on e-commerce and start selling the hell out of these canvases. You know what I mean? So that dynamic is huge because sometimes they get blinded by their own passion. You ever seen a person that's in the music industry and they be like, all I want to do is create music, man. I don't want to deal with that whole business bullshit, man. It's going to fuck up my creativity.
Lil Yachty. That's all I think about is Lil Yachty when he said that.
No, you fucking nuts. It's called a music business for a reason. It's a business. The hell you got to let somebody else handle all of your financial affairs, all your marketing affairs, and you're not going to be involved in none of that? How does that not play a part in your career?
It's huge to your career.
I have a history in the music industry. That's why I worked at EMI Records. But I've seen so many artists do that shit. And it's like, how you're a fucking fool if you got to let somebody else handle
all your financials,
all your shit, dude. I mean, from the marketing to the presses. The reason why 50 Cent is where he is today is because he became that spook that sat by the door at Columbia Records. And he went to every department to see what the hell they did. And he was like, oh, okay, what's your job? Oh, you do the marketing. Oh, you're in charge of street team. Oh, you're in charge of billing. Oh, you're in charge. That's why he is who he is today.
Learn the processes behind
He actually learned the business.
The business.
Tyke, so with your books, I know you said you had your own publishing company. You self-publish these books yourself?
Yes.
Okay. I remember you mentioned like you said you were getting them mass distributed. Could you kind of talk to like how would somebody go about that with a book?
There's this place called Draft to Digital. Draft to Digital. It will distribute your book to like 5 to 7 major retailers. So you can upload your book once and it will just blast it out to Barnes and Noble, Amazon, all these places, and they will pick up your book and they will sell your book to all of, you know, their ecosystem, right? Amazon, of course, is winning out of all of them. So I concentrate more on Amazon, but certain books I do have on draftedigital.com so they can distribute some of my one-off books. But it comes back to like the drug game. The drug game is about distribution. You could be that petty, dude on the corner that's selling, nickels and dimes, or you can have major distribution, right? It's all about high levels of distribution. The ones that really killed the game were the ones that had major distribution. The ones that they make movies out of is because they had major distribution. The Black Mafia family, the Al Capone, they're the Chapo, all of them had high levels of distribution. Mm-hmm. That's what anybody, like when this video hits YouTube, that's a high level of distribution. You can reach millions of people with one video versus you just say, hey, come go to my website and watch this video. Mm-hmm. So you
got an algorithm, like you said, ecosystem working in your favor.
Yeah, but you could create your own algorithm too. And you're doing that with your email marketing. That is your own algorithm. So when you segment your, like these people, I will market this video to this segment on our marketing list. That's your algorithm because you just cut off a bunch of people, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like we're creating our own algorithm now. We just don't know it.
And what you talking about being in the music industry and like ghostwriters, I kind of want to talk about like, do you know how that works with artists? Like, how are they able to receive royalties versus, like you're saying, whenever you're writing a book, they're not going to receive none of those royalties?
Right. So when I was in New York, I worked with EMI Records. I got to see them work with push people like D'Angelo, Fugees, Bahamadia, a couple of artists like that. And I saw how a lot of these artists at the time, they were sleeping on people's couches and stuff, just trying to get their career off the ground. And then they would make them into this world phenomenon, like through strategic marketing and alliances and partnerships. So what happened is you create this body of work, right? Which is your single, your album. And they will literally take that album and hand it over to the record company. The record company say, all right, thank you. Here is an advance on your money. They're going to give you like $25,000, $50,000, $100,000 or whatever. So once you get that advance, there's a contract you're going to have to sign. Hey, we own the rights to your shit. Mm-hmm. The same way I do with the ghostwriters. If you take this money, I own the rights to this book, period. But we will pay you a percentage. That's why when you saw Michael Jackson and you saw Prince fighting for their masters, there is money in ownership of that licensing. Mm-hmm. Because now they can take that same music and push it out on commercials, on the internet. Now they're doing these 360 deals where they own your music in the universe and shit. You know what I mean? It's weird like that. They call it a galactic record deal or something like that. What? Yeah. So they're like, you can't use your music out of space and shit.
What's wrong with these niggas, man?
Because they plan on doing shit out there.
That's crazy. They say in perpetuity, they mean that shit.
So they have this galactic record deal. That's what the 360 deal is. So they will pay you a percentage off of all the record sales, but they're getting paid 90% of it. Why? Because they brokered the deal. They created the alliances and the partnerships and everything like that. And all you did was write some songs. Mm-hmm. But if it wasn't for us, nobody would know you. Mm. So it's the same thing with the publishing. Nobody knows these authors, but the pen name I create with my marketing machine behind it, they get to read your shit. but they don't know you.
Mm.
It happened with that Matrix, the movie The Matrix. There was a black girl that wrote that book. And they did not do the right paperwork with her. So she came back and was like, hey, you got to run some of that Matrix money. And she got paid us, oh man, I mean like millions.
I ain't never heard of this.
Millions off of that.
Hey,
But
I love it.
yeah, bro, like all of these big time, authors out there, Stephen King's and all these people, they got ghostwriters, man. They don't write all them damn books. They all have like the movie The It and all that. He probably didn't even write that shit.
He just had his name as the.
Yeah, because he's the brand.
And he had the distribution, putting this shit on the movie.
Exactly.
Man, Tiger done bust my head. This nigga.
Man.
I just want to bring value, fellas. I just want to bring value to the table, man.
Hey,